Yeah, so I watched episode 3 of The Beginning After the End. Just wanted to talk about it real quick. We begin where we left off at the end of the last episode. Arthur fell off a cliff. He awakes inside this cave with a menacing, foreboding figure clad in darkened armor behind him. He's scared and frightened, but turns out Sylvia is kind and motherly and caring, nurses him back to health in a few days, which I might add is completely unfeasible, unless maybe with King Gray's initial and last lifetime ability of being a master of key and magic in this world being basically synonymous with one another, that he's able to channel the magic, channel the key, channel the life force energy through his body and heal it quicker than a normal human may be able to. So for that reason, I will give the anime the benefit of the doubt there. But on the next note, I will not. Sylvia watches Arthur train one day, and while he's practicing with his monocore, she notices he's developed one. So she asks him, "Do you know how to do this?" What she's doing there in the image, which is gathering mana while simultaneously exerting it, using it, gathering it and using it. A perpetual, never ending mana engine, mana gas tank that will never stop running. And she teaches him how to do it. And not with much of a fight either, which is my biggest gripe with this entire episode. Because she asks him a question: "What will you do with the power?" And he says, basically, to kill my enemies, which she is not about. She flicks him in the head and begins to lather on a bunch of cliches and platitudes about how hate and rage only lead to hate, which may be true, but she flicks him in the head, scares him a little bit, gives him a talk with a bunch of platitudes, and after another minute asks him the same question again, and he says, "To protect my family," which protect my family may also end up being kill my enemies. It may be one and the same in many instances. So that hasn't changed much. And also, Sylvia understands who he really is. This episode implies that she might have been the one who teleported King Gray himself into this world and reincarnated him, because she has control over time and space to an astronomical degree. We don't know exactly how much, but an insane amount. So she understands this is a 40-something-year-old psychopathic despot of a king whose only job was to act as an executioner and executor of war, who would kill mother and children mercilessly, did not understand human emotion or suffering or the value of a human life. But somehow, after a flick in the forehead, some scare tactics, and a bunch of platitudes, 30 seconds later, he's having a complete 180, a complete change of thought. His entire life and being and everything he's been for the accumulation of his entire existence changes on the flip of a hat, the drop of a dime. No, no, it doesn't, but it does. It's completely unbelievable and untenable. And there's no real character development there. It's basic. Might as well not even write it. It there is no character development. I don't see it. And then at the end of the episode, we get a battle between Sylvia and seems to be another dragon clad in the same type of armor. They battle. Sylvia dies. Arthur calls her Baba, Grandma. She cries, he cries, even though they've known each other for a week, which is also unbelievable. Well, maybe not Sylvia. If she teleported him there, maybe she's known him for a much longer time, so it makes more sense for her. But for Arthur to be so attached and crying and caring and calling her Grandma, I'm not convinced. And Sylvia also bequeaths him an egg and a bunch of tattoos on his arm, which we can only assume are some sort of dragon infused power, which will make him even more OP later on. And that's where the episode ends off. I'm not loving it, but I will probably continue watching it regardless. Curious to see where it will go from here, how overpowered he becomes. Maybe there will be a fight with actual tension. Is there an antagonist who can stand up to him? The dragon probably is going to be a late stage boss, but we'll see where it goes from here. Thanks for listening. Peace.